Skill 20 is dashes, and these are related to colons, but a little different. Many students start their like ACT prep stuff having no idea what a dash is or how to use it. Do not fear, they're not bad. They're just, yeah, you probably don't use them very often when you write, but maybe now you will, and that's great. So, um, the most common use for dashes is to separate non-essential clause, right? To separate a non-essential clause, okay? Just like commas. So that's a non-essential clause is like a phrase that doesn't need to be in the sentence. You can remove the sentence, the phrase, and the sentence will still make sense. That's what a non-essential clause or a non-essential phrase is. Just so you know, it does not mean a phrase that shouldn't be there, right? Like it's probably good to have that phrase there. It tells you more about something. It doesn't mean you should get rid of it. It just means you don't absolutely have to have it there. So here's an example. LL Cool J, an amazing hip hop artist from the 1980s, grew up on my street in New York. Okay? This is actually true. He grew up on like 5 houses down from me. Super weird. He didn't grow up there. He actually like lived there. Anyway, an amazing hip hop artist from the 1980s is a non essential phrase. You could say, LL Cool J grew up on my street in New York. You could just say that. You don't need it there. It's still good to have this there because there are a lot of people who don't know who LL Cool J was, and you want to say something. But this is non essential, all right? And the way you could kind of say that it's non essential is by putting in these dashes, right? Dash here, dash there. It says this is non essential. So by the way, notice that the dashes are kind of like parentheses here. They're also kind of like commas. Like I could change this sentence to have a comma there and get rid of that and put a comma there, and that would be cool too, right? So you could commas and dashes in this function in this way are basically interchangeable. Let's put the dashes back. There you go. And they're both like parentheses, but you're just not going to see that on the ACT. Another use of the dash is as a replacement for a colon, all right? They're basically interchangeable. If there's one dash, like that can be happening. By the way, a very common ACT situation is they'll put in a dash here and then they'll ask a question where you have to like adjust this and you just have to pick the one with the dash. So a lot of times if there's a dash in one part of the sentence and you see a dash in the answer choice, that's the right answer. Looking again at the colon situation, she demanded just one thing of her students: effort. Okay. That is replaceable with a colon, right? You can put a colon right there, and that works really well too. That's colon being used to explain or define what came before. So you can put a colon there, you could put a dash there, interchangeable, and sometimes you will see that kind of a colon on the ACT as well. So that's it. These are the two things that dashes do. They can set apart a non-essential phrase instead of commas doing so or parentheses, or they can go where a colon would typically go. That's pretty much the deal with dashes. And now we have a worksheet in the next lesson that is both dashes and colons because they are interchangeable a lot.